Hey everybody, welcome into the channel. I have some earth-shattering news for you today. I did a real quick short video, a little reel for Instagram and TikTok, and I uploaded it here on YouTube as well. Poshmark is reverting back to their original fees. So I wanted to do a long form video on this as well. I did the quick short video just real quick to let people know what's going on. It's an announcement everyone needs to know. But I want to talk a little bit more about it, I guess in detail with you guys, and just kind of give my opinion. I've already seen a lot of other people's opinions presented on Instagram and TikTok. So my post, if you see it on the Instagram or TikTok or even here, I did say in the caption that I'm a little snarky. So I'm going to preface this video with saying, I told you so. A lot of people debated me in a lot of different forums since this change Poshmark originally happened with charging the buyer's fees. 9 out of 10 people told me that I was wrong, that I would just have to get used to it and moving forward, that this was the future and this is the way things were going to be. There's two ways to look at this. There's the buyer's point of view and there's the seller's point of view. And regardless of how we as sellers see things or our point of view, at the end of the day, the buyer's point of view is more important than the seller's point of view, because the buyer is the one who's going to make purchases. They're going to buy your items. They're going to put money in your pocket. They're going to give you profits that pay your bills and put food in your house and take care of your kids and your pets and all of that good stuff. So if buyers aren't happy, it's going to reflect on our bottom line. So regardless of how you feel as a seller, the buyer's point of view, the buyer's pain points, the buyer's ability to afford the fees, taxes, shipping, and cost of an item is more important than any feeling, thought, idea you're ever going to have. You can feel any way you want. You can have any opinion you want. You can have any thoughts that you want to have. But at the end of the day, if the buyer thinks differently from you and that's going to affect sales, you need to just sit down and get over it. As a seller, you depend upon your buyers buying your items and giving you money so you can do the things you want to do. And if the buyers aren't happy, and if the buyers can't afford things, you're not going to have money either. Do you understand? So from the buyer's point of view, thinking like a buyer, taking the fact that I'm a reseller, that I'm a seller completely out of it, buyers should not ever pay for the privilege of shopping. Oh, but Star, do you have a Costco card? No, I don't. Would I get one? If buying in bulk was justifiable, probably. I mean, it's just me and Keith here. So we've never really had a Sam's Club or a Costco because that kind of shopping doesn't make sense for us. I menu plan and I cook big pots of meals that last us 2 or 3 days. So shopping at the little locally owned community shop and save here works for us, and it's putting money right back into our community and supporting a small business locally. So I would though. But the thing is with Costco and Sam's Club, that membership you pay for, you're paying for some things beyond just the privilege of shopping. You're getting those really good discounts on bulk items. You're getting those really great lunches at the cafe up front. I've been in a Sam's Club. I know what's up. Keith's grandma has a card. I've taken her. There's just a lot of things that you're paying for. I've heard from people that get checks back at the end of the year. There's a lot of things that go into the membership with those warehouse places like Costco that you're getting with that membership. Okay? So when I say a buyer shouldn't pay for the privilege of shopping, I don't mean somewhere like Costco where the membership gets you a lot of additional privileges and perks in addition to shopping. Oh, but Star, you have Amazon Prime. I surely do. And with an Amazon Prime membership, not only do I get same-day shipping, free shipping, I get movies, TV shows, music, all kinds of streaming right at my fingertips. I'm basically paying for a streaming service that then also allows me to shop. Okay? So I'm going to nip that right in the bud. Don't come at me about, oh, but people pay for the privilege and perks in addition to shopping. Buyers should never pay simply for the privilege of shopping. They should not be paying fees to go buy a pair of used jeans. Simply put. Simply put. And the way Poshmark worded their buyer fee, the buyer protection, what is this? The mafia? Are they paying for protection from what? Are you saying they didn't have buyer protection before? Are you saying they don't have it now again, that we've gotten rid of the fees? It's ridiculous. And as a buyer, I'm going to tell you right now, I would never shop somewhere that charges me fees simply for shopping. That's just me. I don't care about convenience. I don't care about fastness. I don't care about any of that. I work really hard for my money, and when I spend my money, I'm frugal. Not everyone may think that way, but I would bet donuts to dollars, as my grandmother used to say, that a lot of buyers think that way, and that is probably why Poshmark just backpedaled their new fee structure. I've seen comments on Instagram already and TikTok from some pretty irate Poshmark sellers who are upset at Poshmark walking back this change and blaming it on Poshmark being bullied by influencers. And that may have played into it. I really, honestly, I didn't see that many sellers being against this vocally on YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok. In fact, most people I talked to, like I said, were for it and approved of it and liked it and supported it and told me I was wrong. And I don't know that I believe that Poshmark would really back down from sellers on social media. I don't think they really care what we have to say. But if the overall sales were down, I know there's some Poshmark sellers out there who said their sales were just fine and they were selling more than ever. So I understand that. I see you, I hear you, but I'm not talking to you right now. So just sit down for a second. I'm talking to the folks whose sales went down and the overall sales on the platform. If Poshmark sold $1 million in sales the week before they made this change and then they dropped to $500,000, they're going to rethink that maybe buyers aren't shopping as much. I do understand walking back something if your customers aren't happy. I honestly don't think it was being bullied by influencers. I don't really think there were many influencers that were against this. But if the buyers spoke up, if the buyers complained, if the buyers sent messages, if the buyers contacted customer service, if the overall sales were going the way of Mercari sales, I can see why Poshmark changed it. There's one thing they did walk back and change that I don't agree with, and we're going to talk about it because I'm going to show you my email. But I just wanted to preface the email and me talking about that with this little statement of think like a buyer. A buyer should not pay ever for the privilege of shopping. I will die on this hill, and apparently Poshmark thinks I'm right. So I told you so. I'm just kidding. There is one thing Poshmark walked back on that I'm kind of upset with. I really liked it, but we'll talk about it. I'll show you my email. We'll go over there in just a second. I just wanted you guys to hear me out and understand why I'm against it. As a seller, that fee change was great on paper. Paying less fees always means more profits in our pockets. But in order to have more profits, you have to sell items. And I can tell you from experience as a Mercari seller who had high volume sales on Mercari since 2018, all the way through April of this year, that charging the buyer's fees on Mercari has resulted in declining sales. My Mercari's on life support. I have over 5,000 listings on Mercari. I have items on Mercari that used to sell really well. I know the economy's in trouble and everybody says that their sales are slow everywhere. Okay. But I can definitely, absolutely correlate the decline on our Mercari with the fee structure change over there. It happened in April, and we watched our sales slowly go down since April. And we used to do really well over there. I know Mercari is a slower platform for a lot of folks, who said they never did really well over there. We did. We always have. I've always liked Mercari because what does well on there is toys, stuffed animals, electronics, the remote controls. Jewelry was doing well from January through April. A lot of the used clothing that we sell does well on there as well. And it's just declined ever since. So, thinking as a seller now, I understand that the excitement of we're going to pay less fees, it's going to be better for us. But if your overall sales are going to decline, it's going to be less money in your pockets. When we used to pay more fees on Mercari, we made a lot more money on Mercari because we sold a lot more items. We're selling less items, so even though we're paying less fees, it's really not worth it. So I'm glad as a seller, even as a seller, I'm really glad that Poshmark decided to walk this back before it got as bad as Mercari did. This is my personal experience. I've talked to a lot of other sellers about Mercari, and the general consensus is it's gone downhill. Poshmark sellers are a whole different community of people than the Mercari sellers and eBay sellers. And then you've got people who sell on all the platforms that try to kind of take a step back and see everything. But I can tell you from experience personally and from folks I've talked to over the last, I don't know how long ago April was, May, June, July, August, 6 months, that Mercari's definitely seen a decline. Poshmark probably could have gone that way. Maybe. There's a lot of sellers on Poshmark that sell high-end luxury items that folks can't get anywhere else. Mercari is a different world. eBay is a different world. But I also have a lot of friends, including myself, who sell all the same items, all the same places. So I don't only put luxury, high-end items on Poshmark. We list everything everywhere because we use List Perfectly. It makes it so simple and easy to cross-list. If I list an item, it goes on all the platforms. Not everyone does that. So there probably were some sellers on Poshmark that were doing just as well as ever and probably would have continued to do that. There are some Mercari sellers who do report their sales never really changed, for better or worse. Maybe they're even doing better. The majority of people weren't, though. And so I feel like if Poshmark got enough feedback from buyers, they reverted in an attempt to keep the sales the way they are before buyers stop buying or show they're protesting by shopping less. So let me show you the email. You probably have it in your email, so you can pull it up and read it, word for word, verbatim. Like I always tell you guys when I show you something like this or do an eBay update, I hit the bullet points. You have to read it for yourself, word for word. So they're going to revert back to the original seller fee structure starting October 24th. They're removing the buyer protection fee because it's not the mafia. And they're going to be ending the Posh Pass beta. This is the one I said I don't agree with. For years, even long before I was a seller, Poshmark has offered nothing really for being an ambassador. You can be an ambassador too now. Their ambassadors really just a title. We don't really get any perks for being an ambassador or an ambassador too. So I thought the Posh Pass beta was kind of a really neat way to, I guess, reward or give something back to ambassadors. Like, hey, you do so well on our platform. You're good for the Poshmark community. Here's a perk. I thought it was neat. I liked that. If you looked at the Poshmark Streak, the new program they're doing where if you list every day for X amount of weeks, you get like a little prize. That's not really that good either. Like what my next prize on the Streak is that I can change the look of the icon on my phone. So I really did think that this was going to be great for ambassadors. I thought, wow, finally you're going to get a perk, but no, they're walking that back too. So that's the only thing I'm sorry to see go. And I would like to add, the Posh Pass really had nothing to do with the fee structure. It really didn't. The new fee structure rolling out at the same time as the Posh Pass was just two new things coming out on the same day. And now they're walking everything back on the same day. But the Posh Pass really had nothing to do with the fees. It was really just a perk. It was really just saying to buyers, if you shop our ambassadors, you're going to get $5.95 shipping. and a way to entice them to shop from us as ambassadors to give us a perk. Okay, you guys, they're also offering a rebate. So to give us time to adapt to the listings and pricing strategies, they're issuing a rebate. There's 2 asterisks there. For the difference in seller fees on listings created or editing during the fee change period from October 24th to the 27th. So I'm assuming this means if you get charged more than you should, you get some back. They're saying that this is a reflection of their commitment to listening based on feedback. So they're saying this to the sellers. Maybe this is why some sellers feel like Poshmark was allowed to be quote unquote bullied by sellers. Listen, if the majority of your customers, whether it's sellers or buyers, if you're a selling platform like Poshmark or eBay, your customers include the folks who sell on your platform and the folks who buy on your platform, because it goes hand in hand. So we're customers, the buyers are customers, because if we didn't list anything to sell, the buyers would have nothing to buy. But if the buyers didn't buy, then we would have nothing to sell. So it goes hand in hand. I don't think listening to the majority of people who aren't happy with the way something is going is a wrong thing. It's not wrong. In fact, eBay should take a lesson from this. Mercari, take a lesson from this. When your sellers, when your buyers, when your customers are not happy and being vocal about a change, maybe it's time to rethink it. I'm looking for the asterisk. For any listing created or edited between October 3rd and 23rd that was sold will be rebated. You're going to be rebated. Rebated the seller fee difference if the new seller fee is higher. So that makes sense. But yeah, look in your emails. It's there. And again, I would like to say that I don't think necessarily listening to people or taking into account how the people that use your platform is wrong. And thinking as a seller, I think paying less fees is great. I really do. Okay. I'm not advocating for sellers to pay more fees or pay higher fees. And I think that's why a lot of people debated this with me and didn't like my thoughts or my opinions on it. But I can't think as a seller. To be a successful seller, I have to think like a buyer. I have to put myself in their shoes. So as a buyer, I don't want to pay fees when I shop. Bottom line, and that's going to affect all of us as sellers. So think about that. That's a valuable lesson today. Think like your buyers. What do they want? What do they need? And, maybe Mercari can listen to Poshmark. I don't know. What do you guys think about all of this? Let me know down below. If you disagree with me, that's fine. We can have a debate. We can talk about it. Just everybody in the comments, be respectful. We're all adults. We can have differing opinions and talk about them in such a way that is conducive to taking other people's opinions into account. But at the end of the day, like I've always said, whether we agree with it or not, when you sell on somebody else's platform, it's like you're playing in their sandbox. There are rules. You have to do what they like. So I was resigned to accepting the fact that, it was going to be this way. I'm glad they walked it back. I don't like thinking that this is the future. That's what a lot of people told me, that this is going to be the future moving forward. And I just don't see that from a buyer's point of view, being something that's going to be conducive to more people shopping. So let me know in the comments. Don't forget to join our Facebook group too. Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod. Thanks for watching, guys. I, for one, am celebrating because I think this is a good thing. That's me celebrating. That might be a little I told you so dance too. And if I sounded a little snarky at the beginning, I was a little snarky at the beginning. It is human nature to feel a little vindicated when a lot of people told you you were wrong. And it turns out that maybe you weren't. Have a good day, guys. Bye.